One-on-One. In this video, we will talk about patterns of organization and relationships. Why study patterns? Patterns are all around us. Patterns affect our life, and patterns can predict our future. We can learn from the patterns. We see patterns every day in different areas. For example, math, or design and architecture. We see patterns in biology when we talk about cycle of life, or in astronomy. You know that it takes Venus about 225 days to go around the sun, and Mercury only 88 days, all the time. It's a time pattern. In chemistry, by adding one electron, we create a new element. In biology, we talk about cell division, the process of cell division. Or when we talk about classification. So what is a pattern of organization in writing or reading? Patterns show us logical ways writers build or connect the major supporting details. Now, relationships show us a logical connection between two ideas in a sentence, or between two sentences, or between two paragraphs. There are different patterns of organization, and there are different relationships. For example, when we talk about the listing pattern, the relationship is called addition. For chronological order and process and order of importance, the relationship is called time. For the pattern of definition and example, the relationship is example. And for comparison and contrast, the relationship has the same name. Comparison and contrast, the same as for cause and effect. And we have one pattern classification that does not have a relationship, because this pattern can have different relationships. It could be addition, examples, and so on. Let's take a look at one example. This is an example of the process pattern. If you look at the text, the first sentence states the main idea. To keep your closet organized requires a few easy steps. The pattern of organization is always located in the main idea, in the topic sentence or thesis statement, and it's always represented by a signal word. In this case, the word steps is a signal word for the process pattern. And then throughout the text, we know that the author is following this process pattern by using signal words like first step, second step, next, and final step. So authors use patterns of organization for us to follow his ideas easily. Now, a passage usually has one pattern of organization. A paragraph usually has one pattern of organization. And that pattern is always stated either in the topic sentence of a paragraph or in the thesis statement of an essay. So there's only one pattern usually. When it comes to relationships, you can have several relationships in a passage. Now remember, a relationship is a logical connection between two items. And they also have some signal words that are very similar to the pattern signal words. Now let's take a look at the same passage about organizing a closet. We said the pattern of this passage is process. But if you look at this closely, we have four different relationships. We have an addition, with the signal word and. We have cause and effect that is represented by if. We have another case of cause and effect represented by so that, twice in this passage. So to sum up, a pattern shows us a logical connection between the major supporting details in the passage. A pattern is always stated in the topic sentence or thesis statement. Usually a passage has only one pattern of organization, only one logical organization of major supporting details. Now, when it comes to the relationships, you can have several relationships in one passage. Now remember, they all have similar names like cause and effect, comparison, contrast. Some of them are different. Listing and addition, chronological order, process, order of importance, and their relationship is time. I hope it's helpful and you understand the difference between the patterns of organization and relationships.